And we've got the March Arrow update here on the channel, as I have quite a few Arrow titles to go over here, which I think will make up the difference. Usually there's 5 or 6 titles. This time I've got 2 titles in a box set, so I think that works out pretty well. Don't have the Deep Red set, as I suspected. The Italy Amazon site could not honor the order, so therefore don't have Deep Red. May get it later on. It just depends. I mean, to be honest with you, I've never really been that crazy about the Deep Red movie from Dario Argento. I'm more of a Tenebrae and Inferno guy as opposed to Deep Red and Suspiria. That may put me in the minority there, but nonetheless, maybe next time we'll have that somehow. But we do have the Arrow USA titles here, and we have Black Mama, White Mama, if I can get the glare out of that. This here starts out like your typical women in prison movie, as these two, they come to blows at the prison, and there's the lesbian stuff, there's the abusive warden stuff. She's an activist, and she's like I believe she was like a drug dealer or something in the movie. I don't know, again, don't quote me on that, but nonetheless, they're being escorted somewhere else, and the White Mama's clan, if you want to call them that, her little militia group there, busts them free. And they spend most of the movie tied together at the wrist with handcuffs. And it's really good because it mixes different things together. It goes from being just like a woman in prisons movie to being, like a full-fledged exploitation affair with a lot of stuff going on. And these two, they fight, they work together, they impersonate nuns. Sid Haig's there as a cowboy bounty hunter, and probably the best role you're going to find in the entire movie. I thought that was really fun. So this movie was a lot better than I suspected it to be. I had never heard of it before now, as I show you the inside of it. DVD and the Blu-ray. We've got the booklet. Now the booklet only comes the first print, but there is a booklet with it. Right there. I'm going to drag it out there, but it's there. And of course, we got the card. This time it's the Tenderness of Wolves. I don't know if I already had that one or not. And I don't want to take it all the way out, but there is let me do it this way. There's the original art back behind that. As you can see there, it's pretty cool art. I was almost tempted to switch it, but I kind of like the new commissioned art. Like I said, if you like exploitation stuff, women in prison stuff, this mixes all together. It gets quite funny. There's some really cool scenes there, and it gets really violent near the end as well. What you get with this is, of course, you get the Blu-ray and the DVD and blah, blah, blah. But you get the audio commentary with filmmaker Andrew Levoid, director of Search of Wing Wing. Never seen that. White Mama Unchained, interview with star Margaret Markov. Sid Haig's Filipino Adventures, interview with star Sid Haig, which I do recommend that. That was really, really good. The Mad Director of Blood Island, a previously unseen archive interview with director Ed Romero, a trailer gallery featuring promotional images, reversible sleeve, featuring original artwork, and that's pretty well that. Like I said, a lot better than I thought it would be. When it comes to Pam Grier movies, everybody wants to talk about Coffee, and they want to talk about, Foxy Brown, but I think you should put this one up there because it's that good, I think. My personal opinion. Keeping up with our Sho Kosugi theme we've had here lately, we've got Rage of Honor. If I can get this to quit glaring here. Hopefully we'll be updating our equipment here pretty soon, and things won't look so ghetto on this website or this YouTube channel. But there it is. Not necessarily a ninja movie this time around. He's mostly like a cop, and him and his partners, they kind of bust this boat full of dope at the start of it, and then right after that he's having dinner with his lady, and one of his buddies kind of gets pulled into a bad situation that he don't get out of, and we meet this charismatic bad guy, and then we learn that there may be somebody in force that's helping these guys. And one thing leads to another. Next thing you know, he's on an island, and it's a lot of action. I don't think I like it as good as Pray for Death or Enter the Ninja, even though it has the same director. I think when they're actually doing the action stuff, it's at its best. But most of the time, or especially in the middle, it seems like it kind of drags a little bit. So I would not put it on the level of those films, although you need to have it if you're going to be a completist. One other thing that's kind of odd with this is it does not come with the DVD. Of course, I had the DVD of this anyway from a triple feature pack. But this is just the Blu-ray disc this time around. Of course, you get the card, and it has a booklet as well. If you get the first pressing of this. So, not necessarily my favorite show film, but, you know, gotta have it. If you're like me, you're a little bit of a hoarder with these things, you gotta have it. And let me show you, if I can get this disc here. There is the original art. Not a fan of that original art. I really do think this is one of the many times that the newly commissioned art seems to top that out. I'll get that back in there. This comes, blah blah blah, on high definition Blu-ray, you all know that. DVD. Show and Tell Part 2, The Domination, brand new interview with Sho Kosugi, looking at his career from Rage of Honor onward. Now, this is, of course, the continuation of the interview that is with him in Pray for Death, so if you've got that one, this one finishes it. Honorable mentions with Silvio Caparini, interview with Rage of Honor composer. Italian guy, I assume. American Ninjas with writer Christopher Pelagi on the rise of popularity of the ninja film in the U.S. in the 1980s. Sho Kosugi's trailer gallery for a bunch of his films like Enter the Ninja and all that stuff. Reversible artwork. Like I said, that's one thing I like about Arrow releases. I go out of my way to do these kind of videos for Arrow is even if it's not necessarily a packed release, it's still got enough stuff on it to stand out. It does seem like nothing's bare bones with them, which I really appreciate that. But that is Rage of Honor. Not my favorite of the Sho Kosugi films, but still, it's got its entertainment, especially how the ending seems to be dragged on and on and on. You kind of get to a point where you're like, well, that's a good finale, but it just keeps on going. The movie don't open quick. And it does put old Sho in some situations that I'm not sure how he's going to get out of them, but he manages to get out of them anyway, so it's entertaining. The last half of the movie is a lot better than the first half. The middle kind of drags. I think that's really what slows it down with me. Now, the big boy of the video, the box set, The American Horror Project, Volume 1. Now, this is a set of classic American horror, so to speak. It kind of gets lost, I guess, in the fold. Everybody knows Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you know Last House on the Left, you know all them old American horror films. Well, this is the ones that might have got looked over throughout the years. Limited edition content. I believe there's only 3,000 of these, but I don't think it says on the back that there is. But this is a very limited quantity on these, I do believe. And of course, you get Masalitas, don't quote me on that, Carnival Blood, The Witch That Came From the Sea, and The Premonition. Very artsy ones, as we'll get into this here as we take it out of the giant slip box. And it's tightly snug too, by the way. Get it out of the box and try not to drop anything. About did. Anyway, here's the box. We will set this over here. I really love Arrow's effort they put in everything. Now, this is the bloodier film you'll find in the set. This is the Carnival of Blood. As you can think of, there's weird things going on at a carnival. You've got vampires, you got ghouls, you got ghosts, you got the whole 9 yards. Very trippy stuff, and a lot of blood. Now, this is the bloodiest one out of the set you'll get here. I like it. I've never heard of it before. Probably my favorite one out of the entire box set, if I am to be honest. Everything seems to lean towards the artsy side of things here. And I think this is one that manages to keep you entertained because you never really know where things are going. You got this guy and his girl, and there's all these bad things happening at the carnival. Like I said, it's been a while since I watched this one, so offhand, with the many amount of movies that I have to watch and review, I don't remember a bunch about it offhand, but I do have it written at the website if you want to go read the full review. But like I said, this one, I do remember enough about it as the case is trying to break on me. There it is. Close one again. But this one is my favorite out of the set. And like I said, this one here is still artsy. Probably really artsy. As much artsy as the rest of them. But it's got enough blood and gore and just wild stuff that you just keep watching like you never really know where it's going to go next. And I like that about that. Now, this is one I had heard of before. This is the Witch That Came From the Sea. Cinema Epoch, or whatever they call their stuff. They had a DVD of this. I've never seen it. I have friends that do like it, if they quit Claren, and they talk about it very highly. I personally wasn't that crazy about it. I mean, it's got its moments, but it wasn't for me. You basically see this woman, and she's with her nephews, and she's talking to him, and you kind of see real early on she's kind of wacky, and she's talking real big and real fancy about her papa, who was supposed to be like this sea captain dude, and her sister don't feel the same way about him, and you kind of learn as the movie goes along why that is. You also learn as the movie goes along how crazy the girl is, and she kind of has this weird thing to where she'll look at the TV and the TV will speak to her, and she'll talk to the TV, and she'll have these like daydreams, and then she finds out that like maybe they're true, and it's kind of a slow burn. It's got its moments. There's some blood in it. It kind of lost me about halfway in it, I guess. I guess it kind of repeated itself a little bit, or it kind of slowed down a little too much. So it's not an awful film, but it's in the middle. Like if that's the best, this one's in the middle. But it looks good, and I should say that every one of these releases look good. Besides, Rage of Honor looks pretty grainy, but that's all you can say bad about it. Now the Premonition here. Basically, a woman working at a carnival or fair thing enlists our little clown friend we see on the front here to try to help her get her kid back. Somebody kind of has this vision. Some sort of stuff happens. There's psychic involved. They have these weird visions, which causes the more trippier stuff of it. Probably the more trippiest, I guess you could say, acid-influenced film in the whole set here. This one was one I really didn't care for. I liked the Carnival Bullet. I liked it a lot. The Witch Come From Sea was kind of in the road for me. This one, I didn't really care for it, but I do appreciate what it went for. Actually, let me open this one up. It's got good acting, but it's just a little bit too slow for my taste. And I think it's a PG or PG-13 rating, so it seems like it's PG because it's pretty tame. Besides just for the few trippy things that happen here and there. Let me real quickly show you the booklet now that comes with these. I have to put it back in there later because it's a tight little fit here. But here's this cool little booklet which tells you even more stuff about the films. I don't want to hurt it, but there's that. There's all this cool little stuff about each movie. Like I said, this is a great set to have, and I definitely recommend it. Even if I don't think the films in it are blow away great films, I think they're good enough to own. Plus, with a set like this, how could you not want to own it? I mean, it's just basically everything Arrow puts out these days. It kind of makes you feel like you have to own it, even if you've never heard of stuff before. Real quick, I will say the limited edition contents on this stuff. Brand new 2K restoration for all the films. Some of the films look a little iffy, but they look good. Some of them are kind of as is. There isn't a whole lot of restoration, I don't think, done, or maybe they didn't go out of their way to get rid of every little bug wrong with it, but it still looks good. You get the booklet. You get the reversible art. 60-page booklet, as I showed you, comes with it. The Carnival Blood has an introduction introduction to the film by Stephen Thrower. He's there for every single one of them. Audio commentary by film historian Rachel Harlett Smith. The Secrets of Malicia, the interview with director Christopher Seif. Crimson Speak, an interview with the writer Werner Lippoldt. There's the art director Richard Stage and Alan Johnson discuss the weird, mysterious world of Mystelia's Underground. Well, I'll tell you what, maybe one of these days I'll release something with some stuff I can actually pronounce on it. Pretty bad about pronunciation anyway. Outtakes, draft script in the BD DVD ROM content, and still gallery. Now that's just for Carnival Blood. For The Witch That Came From the Sea, we had an introduction again, like I said, from Stephen Thrower. Audio commentary with director-producer Matt Simber, actress Millie Perkins, and director of photography Dean Kundry. Tides of Nightmares, brand new making of documentary featuring interviews with Simber, Perkins, Kundry, and actor John Goff. A Maiden's Voyage, archive featurette comprising interviews of Simber, Perkins, and Kundry. Lost at Sea, the directors, Crumbly Reflex of Notorious Cult Classic. Are the directors Simber Reflex, I should say, on the Notorious Cult Classic. And finally, well, that's a lot of stuff here. Finally, the Premonition comes with the introduction, isolated score, audio commentary with director-producer Robert Allen Schnitzer. Pictures from Premonition, brand new making of documentary featuring interviews with Schnitzer, composer Henry Mulligan, and cinematographer Victor Milt. Archive interview with star Richard Lynch. 3 Robert Allen short films, Vernal Equinox, Terminal Point, and Rumbling in the Land. 4 piece spots, trailers, TV spots, region-free stuff here. So all that in that. And I don't know if these are all sold out now or not. If they ain't, they're probably close to it. If you can't get one here, you can probably get a UK one, which is the exact same thing, only to have the UK sticker somewhere on it. But this right here is very much worth getting, even if you necessarily don't know if these films are for you. It's still worth having, and I really can't wait for the second one that's coming out here. So that's the Arrow stuff for this time. Next time, I don't know what's coming out. I guess next time might be the stuff and stuff like that. But that was it for this time. So until next.